flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Make sure we shut our phones off there. Okay, item number 3, public comment. Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Going the third time, public comment. There is no public comment. Item number 4, seating of a new select person. As we are aware, former Selectman Bowen put in his letter of resignation in December, and we need to fill his seat. A letter came forward from the DTC, the Democratic Town Committee, in the name of Phil Willoughby, to seat him as the Board of Select member elect. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to seat Mr. Phil Willoughby.
Second.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat Lombardi. All in favor?
It is custom to let the party.
I am so sorry, Mr. Stanek. Go for it.
Did I mess up?
Did I miss that notice?
Listen,
That's okay, I'll check.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint or elect, I'm not sure of the proper term under the charter, appoint Phil Willoughby of Maple Street as a select person of this board.
second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Willoughby?
Thank you.
Come take up your seat. Sorry, Mr. Stanek.
I didn't mean to not give you the courtesy. I was not aware. I thought I was acting in good faith.
You were. No offense taken. Thank you. If I may, Madam First Selectwoman,
Absolutely.
the new select person needs to be sworn in.
Go ahead, Mr. Stanek.
Mr. Tula could do so, or I could do so.
Go ahead, Fred, I think it's appropriate.
I think so as well.
Mr. Willoughby, if you would please stand.
Raise your right hand.
Phil Willoughby solemnly swear that you will fulfill your duties pursuant to the constitutions of the state of Connecticut and the United States as a member of the Board of Select Person.
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel special.
Okay. Thank you. Item number 5, approve the minutes of the January 3rd, 2023 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 3rd, 2023.
Motion by Trish.
Second.
Second by Bob Finley. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays? Abstain.
I abstain. Count of absence.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 601. Thank you. Item number 6, discussion and take possible action regarding ARP allocations. A, Public Works for the wood chipper in the amount of $64,499.35. We have Frank Gavinelli, the Director of Public Works, here to answer any questions that we may have for it. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Bob Finley, second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 700. Thank you. I need a motion to set a special town meeting for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. For the following, we'll do it individually. A supplemental appropriation of ARP funds in excess of $100,000 for a high school HVAC project.
So moved.
Motion by Pat Lombardi.
Second.
Second by Al Bruno. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 7-0. Set a special town meeting for Tuesday, February 7th, 2023 at 6:45. For B, a supplemental appropriation of ARP funds in excess of $100,000 for fire department air packs.
So moved.
Motion by Bob Finley, second by Al Bruno. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstains, noes? Motion carries. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Item number 8, discussion take possible action regarding 18 North Ave A24 referral As you remember, we moved this last week. We took it over by tax foreclosure. It is a vacant piece of property.
Thank you.
There is nobody living on it. The town has to refer it for an 824 in order to sell it. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Al Bruno, second by Pat Lombardi. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. The Strategic Planning Commission is not here yet, right, Roy? Okay, we'll go into the first Selectwoman's report then, how's that? Can I have a motion to go out of order?
I'll make a motion to go out of order and move to item number 10 for Selectwoman's report.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat Lombardi, all in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries. Thank you. Last week, we held our budget summit. The budget summit consisted of our department heads presenting to myself and our director of finance their budgets and meeting with our vendors. There is talk about health insurance going up 20%. Unfortunately, the town will have to take the brunt of this as the union contracts dictate the amount the employees pay. We will continue to shop prices to ensure we get the best price possible. I want to commend the Seymour Police and K-9 officers for the quick work on catching a shoplifter at Stop and Shop. Not only did they apprehend the suspect, but they recovered the stolen car as well. The department was also called out to a neighboring town where the K-9 officers tracked down a suspect. I want to thank them for continuing to keep not only our town safe, but our surrounding towns as well. We swore in our newly appointed fire chiefs as well as our new police detective and officers last week. Thank you to those that were able to attend. I met with the president and vice president of administration from Aquarian to voice our concerns with the water quality in some areas and the continuous pipe breaks that we are having. Aquarian assured me they are working on a PM program, that is a preventative maintenance program, as well as working with the residents regarding water issues in certain neighborhoods. Aquarian was performing a preventive maintenance today when they noticed a leaking pipe on Heritage. The water was shut off to fix the repair. The water was off for a maximum of 46 minutes, and the repair was made. I attended the MLK celebration at Ansonia High School yesterday, Martin Luther King celebration. This event was put on by the Valley Martin Luther King Committee as well as the Valley NAACP. Students throughout the Valley High School read letters from Birmingham Jail. Seymour High had 2 representatives there as well. The money raised from this event will help pay for the students to take a civil rights tour, which includes visits to HBCUs, Atlanta, Montgomery, Selma, and Birmingham, Alabama. It was a very moving presentation. The chorus sang. It was great. Last time we met, I said I may have some updates for you in regards to the cybersecurity that took place. As Jean's eyes back there got really, really big. I can say the following: the Seymour Police have been actively working this case. Detective Dempsey, who is the lead investigator, as well as Chief Buccarati and Inspector Joe Matasovich, have relentlessly tracking this. And today we received some good news. We feel confident that we will be recovering at least half of the funds that were taken as well. That was $182,000 that they will be going back to the bank to get. As well as the criminal investigation is moving at a good pace. The Seymour PD is working with the state's attorney as well as the FBI. So that's really good news. Our audit has been completed for the 21 fiscal year. We have a surplus of $677,000. So that's good news as well. So that's what I have for my Selectmen's report, Rory. Yes?
Wilhelmy, the third. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of us.
Thank you. I tried Googling it, wasn't coming up.
Well, that might be a good thing. No problem.
Phil, you haven't lost your sense of humor.
No,
Right.
never.
I guess I will represent the Strategic Planning Committee. Basically, we'll go over what we did this year, and then talk a little bit about the direction we want to take committee has been in kind of a state of flux, trying to figure out what the role of the committee should be while continuing to move the plan forward. In the past year, this board has seen, at this point, I think the majority of the senior staff come and present their strategic plans to the board. They are not 100% finished. They're not where we hope that they will get eventually, but they are, the ones that you have seen are in good shape and heading in the right direction. So that kind of ties into where we're hoping to bring it. As far as we have thought about the role of the committee. We're up. Oh, cool. and what we can do to continue to bring the strategic planning process forward. So, in terms of bringing it forward, we've identified two things. The strategic planning committee is an advisory board to this board. The ordinance that creates it provides for the first select person to come and speak to the committee, and provides for this board to hear a presentation from the committee once a year. And that is it. And so, as we look to make the plan meaningful and integrated into the annual processes of the town, the committee can only do so much. At this point, this board and the Board of Finance are the ones who hold the power over the department heads that are creating the plan. Right? We moved from a process in which the committee is oh, by all means. I'm not winging it up there.
So do you want me to put the link up, or you have it handy, you can slap it up there, or? So nice to see you all not in a little box.
Right?
That you feel like very,
I feel like we were watching the Brady Bunch.
yes. I mean, that's not unfun, but I mean, it's nice to see you all. So, yes,
And buying them a little time while they put that together. I'm part of that strategic board as well. And I've been a part of starting a strategic plan in an organization, and it takes multiple years to really get it running. I think, from what you started, Trish, and where the board is today, and where the departments are reporting their strategic plans, it's been very, very positive. It's not 100% there yet, but the progress that they've made and the time frame they've done it in since they put together the plans has been great, and the departments are reporting in a way that's starting to formulate a repeatable process. I think what they're going to ask is, when the boards do come up and present to us, that we're referring back to that plan.
Yes.
Make that plan be the core of how they communicate to us, so then they embrace it more. I think that's where I'll let them kind of go from there, but I can only tell you that the progress that's been made in the last couple of years has been dramatic, and the amount of departments that are actually using the process. So,
Absolutely.
I see a real shift from being where we once were a decade ago, very reactive, to being much more proactive, which was truly my whole goal in getting this formed. So that's good news. I don't want us to lose steam, though. I got a little concerned, because I just don't want to lose steam or interest. We want to keep it going.
So I'm not going to be able to drive the deck from the microphone, so I'm going to just have to use my finger.
It's a cordless microphone.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to multitask?
Just bring it over for her.
It also doesn't end.
Laura, can you bring the stand over for her?
She's good. She can hold a lightsaber. She can hold them.
Actually, I think Rory should stand there like this.
That would make me that would make me very uncomfortable. All right. Well, like I said, it's good to see all of you again in person. as much fun as it was to do this with wearing sweatpants, it's nice to actually have real pants to come in on. So, just briefly, I'm going to introduce the team. A couple of them aren't here, so we'll just pretend they are.
Okay.
I'm going to talk a little bit about sort of what we've done last year, sort of the wins we've had, and where we see some opportunities to continue moving things forward. I'm going to take you through sort of our vision for taking this to a self-driven plan, and we'll explain what that means, and sort of how that's going to work for us. And folding that is a top-down approach. So again, we're going to go into a little bit more detail as to what we mean by that. We're going to introduce the concept of identifying municipal goals and how they apply to the strategic plan, tying them into the plan, and then kind of keeping that momentum going forward so that we don't slow down and we just keep going. The team. You know Rory. You know Stefan. He is with the Board of Ed tonight. He couldn't be with us. You know that guy, Mr. Bob. You have not yet met our newest member, Brianna. She will be here tonight, and I'll introduce her when she gets here. And then, so right now, 6 of our 11 departments have strategic plans. So that's pretty darn good when you think about where we started, which was 0 out of 11. So, and I'd like to actually give Rory a lot of the credit for that. He's here on, boots on the ground, holding hands and making sure that this gets taken care of. So we have more than half. PD and the library are both in process right now, and those are a couple of big nuts. So once we get those guys taken care of, we'll have really pushed the process along. Every month when the department heads have their meeting, they're all reporting now, or those that have them are reporting on their progress as it relates to their strategic plan. So we're starting to build it into the culture. And that's, as Bob can attest and Trish can attest, that's the trick in getting a strategic plan to work. You have to bake it into your culture so people do without thinking. And that's where we're moving very rapidly forward. We're seeing our department heads start to think strategically as they consider their jobs and their tasks. They're not just going, well, I have to do this and this and this and this and this. They're starting to say, well, how do these things relate to each other? How do they move, a greater plan? And you are starting to see these plans, I hope, on a regular basis. And we want to increase that because, as Rory mentioned before I got here, the strategic plan should really be the basis for what they do. So everybody's playing off the same sheet. This year, we'd like to start moving toward a self-driven plan. Now, what does that mean? The staff fully understands and embraces the concept of strategic planning. They're not even thinking about it. When they're thinking about their tasks, they're thinking about their plans, how they're going to do something, they're automatically thinking about it from a strategic mindset. We would like to tie those to a single set of town-wide goals. So essentially, everybody's rowing the boat in the same direction, instead of kind of rowing in all of their little circles. Continue to have the staff intuitively integrate strategic planning into their work processes. So again, without even thinking about it, they're breaking things down, they're thinking about their tasks and how they're moving that boat toward the common goal. And we really want to start getting into one of my favorite words, metrics. Measure it. Gather data, look at it. Not just go, yeah, we're doing better. What does better mean? Better means a percentage change. That's what we want to see. We want to start analyzing and applying metrics to everything that happens so that we can start to measure where things are going up, things are staying flat, and going down. That starts here. It doesn't start with us. It starts with establishing that set of goals from the top and communicating that to the individual departments and asking them to strategically move forward those goals. Again, I mentioned the boat. If everybody rowing a boat, if everybody's rowing in the right direction, the boat moves forward. If they're not, they just sort of sit there with the water. So what we'd like to see is in the first couple quarters of this year, you all to think about the priorities and areas of focus, goals, targets. What do we want the town to do? Where do we want it to be? We spend the next few weeks thinking about that. And at the same time, we're going to look to the Board of Finance to set those criteria to make sure that any requests are lining up. So you can't just walk in and go, oh, I need money. What do you need it for? How is it moving with your strategic plan? How is it moving? Senior staff will be continuously building and revising their plans to make sure they're lining everything up with that central plan. They're going to continue to report every time they come to you, and on a regular basis, they're going to say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're moving this forward. And at the end of the year, we're going to look at it, and we're going to measure it, and we're going to say, how did we do? Now that doesn't mean that if we didn't hit a goal, that, oh no, the boat's going to sink. We just look at it and say, okay, so how do we adjust that strategy, how do we adjust that goal into next year? It's not meant to be punitive. So Brianna was going to talk to you about identifying municipal goals. You've seen this list before. You've probably heard it ad nauseum, the concept of a SMART goal. If anyone has specific questions about SMART goals, we can take you through them. Basically, a SMART goal in a sentence is specific, it is measurable, it is attainable, it is relevant, and it is time-bound. So, we're doing better is not a SMART goal. You can't measure it. What's the definition of better? We've improved productivity by 10%. That's measurable. We've improved productivity by 10% by the end of the year. Got a time. Did you do it? Yes or no? Ideally, we would love to see these goals be what we call cross-functional. Teams should be working together. What one department does should help another department. Again, we're all pushing the boat forward. Now, what do you do if you don't know the goals that you're setting out are SMART? You can go back to the list. Or you can go back to slide 3 that I talked about earlier and ask us. We talk about this stuff, we think about this stuff. Most of us do it every single day ad nauseum. And, we preach that gospel. So we understand how these things come together. And any of us on the committee can help you with SMART goals because we all work with them on a daily basis. So, it's easy to think about it sort of as pillars and goals, and it might be something like planning. We want to make sure that 100% of compensated town departments and 50% of volunteer boards have delivered a comprehensive strategic plan by the end of Q3. Specific, measurable, it's attainable, relevant, and it's got a deadline. And we threw a couple other examples of what those. These are not what we're saying your pillars should be by any stretch of the imagination. Just trying to illustrate what something like that would look like. We think they're pretty good, but
That was a nice plug.
We believe that each senior manager should tie at least one item in their strategic plan to each of the municipal targets. Again, going back to moving the boat. They should specifically specifically include both the deliverables and the timeline. We're going to do this by then. Any tasks that you guys need to see attached to your greater plans should be communicated down by the middle of the year, end of Q2. And senior management should be prepared to deliver an update. And every time they come to see you, even if that update is, we haven't quite gotten there yet, or something's happened that has redirected us, that's okay. Again, it's not meant to be punitive. And it's also for them to come in and to toot their own horn and go, hey, look at this. We had this goal set for the end of Q4, and look at us, the end of Q2, and we're done. And if that task needs to be changed, or, the world changes. Nothing is static. Deemed impossible, that's okay. Stop and adjust it. Make sure there's something in that box. Keep moving forward. All right, Lori, give me a break. Oh, just breathe. Your hair looks fabulous, by the way.
Right, so this is kind of, what we were talking about before. The strategic planning committee doesn't really have the ability to do anything with the department. They're available, they're willing to consult and help whenever they're needed, but ultimately, they report to this board just like all of the senior staff. So, what we're looking for, what we're hoping that you guys will agree with is, as Kathy mentioned, we're looking for kind of broad municipal goals to which we can align all of the senior staff's departmental goals. So, as an example, a budget document is a statement of priorities, right? So every year we construct a budget and we're hoping to achieve certain goals with that budget. In the last budget, some of the priorities we identified were kind of diversifying our revenue sources both through grants and through a fee-for-service model as opposed to just direct taxation. And we've made significant progress in that. Sheila came and presented to you, and we've gotten several $1 million in grant funding, right? So we've made progress towards that goal. Additionally, Frank was here and talking about updating the transfer station fee schedule. That's a fee-for-service model, right? We're moving in that direction. And those are just examples. At the budget summit, we had probably a majority of departments talking about how they can focus on revenue. So when we have these kind of broad goals set and that communicate those expectations to the department heads, we see progress in those directions, right? And so you guys are half of it, and the other half is the Board of Finance, because they control the purse strings, right? If a department's goals are not aligned with their spending priorities, there's an issue. Either the spending is wrong or the priorities are wrong, right? And so what we're hoping, and the timing we need to work out, because obviously we're going to start budget season pretty soon. The Board of Finance is meeting several times a week. But what we're hoping is for a special meeting of this board and the Board of Finance, where we can kind of sit down, talk about how you guys can compel the department heads, because you hold the power to get things moving in the same direction. And part of that will be brainstorming and identifying these goals, both broader municipal-wide goals, what we want, the vision that we have for the town, and how we expect the department heads to move in that direction.
I would think the Board of Selectmen has to do that before meeting with the Board of Finance. And then obviously taking input if they have any, but too many hands in the pot. I think this board should probably align those goals first.
But that's the direction we see. The committee we've worked hard for several years and we've made a lot of progress. I think every year we're making more, but
I just wanted to throw out there too, and even during budget season, as people are putting together plans of why they need a budget, a lot of the tasks that they would be generating for a strat plan comes out of that as well. So it's kind of the best time to put something like that together. But the initial, what the town wants first should be identified as they're putting their budgets together. So that's why it's more that top-down approach where, you know, the town has a goal, and then as they're doing their tactical plans, they can put those in their strat plan and the strategic plan of what the town needs all together. So,
And, one other thing I want to say is that a lot like the departmental plan, this is already happening, right? We identified priorities in the last budget, and we made progress towards them. What we're talking about is formalizing processes.
make it repeatable.
Can I just ask where this would live? Is it
So-
with the first select person's office? Is it with the committee? Is it both?
So that's part of the evolution of this, is it previously kind of lived with the committee and it kind of died with the committee. The first time around, we interviewed all of the stakeholders, we digested it, we put a plan together, and then we handed it back to them, and everybody said, what is this? Right, because they didn't create it, they didn't own it.
Didn't own
the
it, right.
entire way
Right.
through.
Yeah.
And so, I think we've made some improvements where the departments are driving their individual plans. And so they see it from conception to execution, right? They own the process the entire time. In terms of where it lives physically, if that's your question or part of it, one of the first ARP allocations that you guys made was for transition to Microsoft 365. And so now everybody has access to OneDrive. And so we're still working out the kinks and figuring out how we can share and collaborate using the new system. Everybody's working their way through it, but that's the idea. I'm working on a file structure where we have a departmental shared folder. Within that folder lives the compliance calendars that we talked about, the fleet documents that you guys have seen, individual departmental strategic plans. And so the documents are owned by the department heads, but they're accessible and visible and editable within the first one.
Yeah, so a SharePoint site or a team site would be best suited for that kind of document.
Yeah, I'm just curious how that's looking. I didn't know that.
Can I
Thanks,
just
Bob.
add some commentary?
Go ahead,
I'm
Trish.
sorry, Fred, I didn't see.
Oh, you.
I think day in and day out, and this is my opinion, it needs to be driven by the selectman's office. As far as, every month annually when people are in front of us or the Board of Finance, it's incumbent on the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance to make sure that we're supporting those items and asking the right questions as it relates to their strategic plan. I would hope the committee isn't thinking of dissolving when you're saying self-led, though, because I think we need that resource group to
Yeah, it'll still be there.
be of assistance, and not just of assistance, but kind of looking at the reporting out and seeing things we might not see, where you're like, you know what, we're seeing a lot of progress in these 6 areas and departments, but this department or these 2 departments seem to be struggling. What can we do to help them? And be a reach out. And whatever else you deem is appropriate. Because otherwise, the selectman's office is just going to get inundated when we hit a roadblock, and it's going to die. So we want to just keep the momentum, as you said,
I
Ms.
think
McCoy.
what we're hoping at this point is that we're starting that transition. We're not going anywhere. I mean, we're on 2 slides in the presentation. We're not going anywhere. But, we need to start putting some teeth into what we create. We can create these beautiful plans in an ivory tower, and, we can sit back and look at them and go, you know what? That right there, that's a good strategic plan. But if there isn't anyone who is driving it on the ground, it's nothing more than a pretty piece of paper. So what we're trying to do at this point is to teach you and to guide you and to help you integrate strategic planning into your thinking so that it becomes completely natural for, when to say, well, can we see what your plan is on that? Because if it becomes expected from your side of the desk, it's going to become practice on their side. They know every single time they come in to ask you for something, you're going to go, oh, where does it fit in your plan? The first time they don't have it, they're going to learn.
And here's the good news, we started with the departments first. So even as they've been presenting to us, a lot of them, many of the departments coming in saying, they're talking about their strategic plan. They're saying those words. They're saying the word strategic plan. This is in my strategic plan. And we did it at the department level, which is great from a tactical approach. They get involvement. They understand what the plan is. Now we take the next step. Now we look at it from a board level. Okay, how do we set the common goals for the town so we can drive some of the things that we need done from a town perspective into their plans so they're looking at it from a tactical and a strategic approach.
And we've always had a policy as a committee that if any individual department or department head wants to sit down with someone, and typically they sit down with Rory, but if they say, you know what, I want to tap into that brain trust that is the strategic planning committee, we're completely open to that. That's why we're here. So, you know, we're kind of at the point where we feel like, you know, we get it. They're starting to get it, and we want you guys to get it. And then again, everybody starts to push the boat along. Norma?
Brent, do you have a question?
If I may, to Rory. Rory, you mentioned about the ARP purchase of Microsoft programming. That's a goal to implement that programming. Is there some type of documentation that's put together to guide the various departments, to guide them to goal and the steps to the goal that you are looking to obtain?
So I'm working with the IT director, and our plan is we're going to sit down with each department head. So as of right now, every town employee has, when they get a login to the Seymour network, they have a personal network drive. And that's where they store everything. And that way, if their computer crashes, everything lives on the network and not on the computer, so it's recoverable and all that. And then, likewise, we have existing departmental shared drives. And so, finance department has one, for Selectmen's office has one, and that's where, you know, for example, in the finance department, the accounts payable person maybe just keeps the invoices in their personal drive if they're the only person who needs to access them. But all of the contracts that govern payments are available on the finance shared drive. And so anybody in that department can access them. So what we're working on is taking that existing file structure and moving it to the cloud. And then within that, we're also thinking about kind of town-wide sharing and all of these plans and documents that we're creating and who needs to access them, and trying to create a file structure that accommodates that. So we're still figuring it out. So there's not a plan per se, other than bringing the existing structure into the cloud. That's the first step, and then beyond that, it'll be as needs arise as we put additional requirements to the senior staff for the compliance calendar, figuring out how we're going to house that and make it shareable.
I mean, long-term vision, Fred, would be the fact that we could actually, once we do it from a board level and we move it down to the departments, that would become some visual that we can actually present to the town. The town can actually see it. It would be.
And actually, additionally, you all have town email addresses. And so you have access to these too, so we can share that folder with you. And so you don't need to ask me. The ARP spreadsheet, which I need to get you guys, it's been a while. I can just post it there, and you can access it whenever you want. That's the idea.
Thank you. I guess what I was getting at is the broader picture. goals are set, is there then some implementing documentation to guide the departments as to how to implement that town-wide goal?
That's the kind of thing that we discuss at the senior staff meetings.
Okay.
At the most recent one was our budget summit. Instead of doing the normal senior staff meeting, we did the budget summit in January. But at the December meeting, we did a tutorial right there on that screen for how the file structures are going to work and what we expected. So is it documented on paper? But we are discussing it.
So the nerds in the back of the room here? We've just sort of, 365 and Microsoft probably has all that documentation available. And if you're looking for, sort of infographics or things like that that tell somebody how to actually, what buttons to push and what things to do, that's what you're asking.
Well, my question was even broader, not only with regard to Microsoft, the programming, but any goal. Is there some type of guidance that is then created for the departments to be working with?
Yeah, I think that's something that we, easily put together, and I think that's something that we can help with, communicating goals and sort of,
Thank you.
Jimmy, do you have?
All right. Oh, this is Brianna, she's here. Say hi. Next time, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to let her do it. Okay? All right. So I decided to end my little presentation today with a picture of who I like to think of as the notorious Isaac Newton. And Isaac Newton, the guy with the apple tree, but one of the things he talked about was momentum. And he defined momentum. Momentum is strength or force that is gained by motion or a series of events. The conservation of momentum, which is also known as inertia, reflects that an object once placed in motion will stay in motion unless something stops it. We're in motion. We have momentum. We want to keep that momentum going. And we want to make sure that we don't put anything in the way. No friction, nothing that's going to slow that inertia down. And that's it. Any questions?
No? Thank you.
Thank you.
So in terms of next steps, then, I guess we'll talk and figure out how we want to move forward with creating broader municipal goals before we work on scheduling a joint meeting with correspondence.
Yeah.
Talking soon.
No.
If you have any questions while we're still here,
Great presentation, Joe.
Kathy, thanks for still leading the team. I'm so happy.
you're welcome. They won't let me go.
No, we won't.
No, if you try, they'll call me.
Item number 11, appointments. In your packet, you have an updated, or in front of you, actually, you have an updated list of appointments. We'll go by one by one. PJ Wetzler, Inland Wetland Commission, it's a reappointment for 4 years. It expires on 1/17/27.
So moved.
Motion by Al,
Second.
second by Trish. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains. Chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. Bob Nerone, Zoning Board of Appeals, it's a reappointment, 4 years, expires 1/17/27.
So moved.
Motion by Pat Lombardi, second by Al Bruno. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Abstains, noes. Chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. Maritza Arias, Events Committee, it's an appointment for 2 years, it expires on 1/17/25. Motion by Trish, second by Al Bruno. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. Jill Demko, Events Committee, it's an appointment for 2 years, expires on 1/17/25.
So moved.
Motion by Alberno,
Second.
second by Bob Finley. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. The second one is Paula Chapel, not Paul Chapla, it's Paula Chapel. Chapla? Events Committee's appointment for 2 years. Expiration date is 1/17/25. Can I have a motion? Motion by Alberno,
Second.
second by Pat Lombardi. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. Thank you. Next in your packet is a tax refund and abatements. Please review. When you're ready, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
Motion by Pat Lombardi,
Second.
second by Trish Danka. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Noes, abstains, chair votes aye, motion carries 7-0. Correspondence, there were no correspondence. Is there any public comment? Public comments going once, public comments going twice, public comments going 3 times. There is no public comment. We will end the night with Selectmen's comment. Mrs. Selectman Lombardi, we will start with you.
I don't ever really have too much other than welcome aboard, Mr. Willoughby. I've worked with you on several other boards and commissions, and I look forward to having a good working relationship.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, same. I wanted to welcome Mr. Willoughby to the
Thank
board.
Trish?
Welcome.
Thank you.
I had the honor to attend the police and firemen's swearing in, and it's always my honor. That's like my favorite event of the year. So thank you for inviting us, and that's all I have to say.
Bruno?
Yeah, I just want to echo that by Trish. The police department and fire department inductions on Thursday night, great job, well done. It's always a great event to attend, and congratulations to all of those folks that were installed. It's great to see our strategic planning committee, take wing, and we have great leadership on it. You guys do a wonderful job. It's a sign that we're heading in the right direction as a community. If you don't have a strategic plan and SMART goals, which I'm familiar with from a couple of jobs ago, I was taught by educators. They use them all the time to track their own progress, students' progress. If you don't have well-written goals, you're not going to achieve anything. So it's good to know that that's going on. It's just a logical way to think and try to get to point A to C. So I'm thrilled that we're doing that in this town. It just makes complete sense. So let's keep it up, keep up the momentum, as Kathy said. And Phil, welcome.
Thank you.
Selectman Stanek.
I would like to thank the committee for presenting this evening. I've never been in a room where Brianna has been so quiet. Maybe next time we'll hear from Brianna. I've known Brianna for a long time. Anyway, thank you.
Oh, no.
Since we're entering the budget season, and I know that budgets are presented to the Board of Finance and to the First Selectwoman's office, and the First Selectwoman is then to analyze and give her comments to the Board of Finance, I'm just wondering, and I don't think this has been done in the past, if we as a board could share some of what the First Selectwoman, prior to presenting to the Board of Finance, might be thinking, and we might have some input also after looking at the overall picture.
Absolutely. I was planning on showing you guys the first meeting in February, the
Okay, so
budget.
maybe we could have some discussion and supplement or add to
Mhm.
what you have to say.
Yep.
Thank you.
Is that it?
And again, welcome, Phil.
Thank you, sir. I'd just like to thank this board for this opportunity, the very sincere welcomes I received, and just to reiterate that I hope to be a positive part of this organization and do the best I can. Thank you very much, everybody.
Phil, welcome to the board.
Thank you.
I remember when I first came in to the Board of Selectmen, you were on the Board of Selectmen with me then.
Yes.
So, as well as Public Works. So it's great to be working with you again. And with that, I will take a motion
I'll
to.
make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Trish, second by Pat.